Hey guys, so this is one thing I don't like about fucking gaming companies sometimes, especially with like Nintendo and because they have a problem with fans just kind of taking the games and kind of making their own thing out of it. Um, so Nuzlocke is a really popular way to play Pokemon. So basically, you, because I watched Tyranitar Tube do it. So basically, you play the game, but if a Pokemon faints, that Pokemon's unusable. You cannot use it. You can't revive it. It's done. So if you train these Pokemon and they're really strong and you get to a battle and you lose, well, guess what? You're not, you got to put it in the PC. Um, I think it's another rule is you can only catch one Pokemon per route. Once you enter a new area and you're able to catch a Pokemon, you can go ahead and catch it. Um, but sometimes you don't have a choice but to catch some low level Pokemon and try to train them up. So usually you might find yourself grinding a whole lot because again, if you lose against a trainer, if your Pokemon faints, they're gone. So a lot of times people might find themselves in the wild training Pokemon to level up and learn moves and stuff like that because they don't want to risk going into a battle because everything is kind of like randomized, it seems, at least the ones that I've seen. I'm watching Tyranitar 2 play the uh, the Diamond and Pearl, the Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, whatever, Extreme Nuzlocke. Um, so he's had a lot of strong Pokemon, and yet sometimes you just have to let him go. Uh, and sometimes you don't get any good Pokemon. So if you go into the route in the new area and your encounter is a fucking Oddish, well, it looks like you're capturing an Oddish. Sometimes what looks like a bad, a problem might actually turn into a good, because it's like, oh, that Oddish, the next uh, gym that's coming up, I could actually use Oddish. Um, but the companies, I swear, they love shutting down projects. They love just so the Pokemon Company apparently is not a fan of Nuzlocke, considered to be on the same level as hacking ROM hacks. So just a play style of yeah, you go through and if you lose a Pokemon, that's it. They somehow consider that on the same level as hacking. Even if the game requires no hacks at all. Now you can do like a randomizer type game where you start out the game and so it's say it's the original ones. So you have Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle. The randomizer, it may not be Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle. It might be fucking Eevee, Mew, and fucking Aerodactyl. And you can pick one of those and train them, just like you would your starter. And so you go to the first route, and you normally see what Pidgeys and Rattatas and all that. But you might go into the route, and there might be a level 2 fucking Executor there. It's all randomized. Um, in places where you might find potions, it might be rare candy. It's randomized, and it definitely you know produces replayability to the games. Like, look how many times I've done the fucking Ocarina of Time randomizer because it randomizes it every time, so it's a new experience for the most part every single time you play because all these items are never in the same place. Well, sometimes they are. Sometimes you might get lucky. Like I've gotten lucky a few times where I've gotten the ocarina right where you get the ocarina. There, it's not set on that. It's just that's the randomization of it. You can get vanilla spots and you can't. But Pokemon, the Nuzlocke, that's something I've wanted to do, but I've never had the courage to do it because I'm like, okay, I'm really not that great at the games. I'd end up losing my entire fucking team or something. Um, but just the fact that Nintendo and Pokemon find fan made things to be such a threat I mean, Nuzlocke is something they've been asking Pokemon for ages now because people love it. People love that challenge of going through, raising this team, evolving, growing them, moves and this and that, and having the risk of losing it all. You could enter one battle and lose every fucking Pokemon you have. You could enter that boss, the gym battle and lose every single fucking Pokemon. And then you're back to square one to having to go to your box and training up all these shitty freaking Pokemon that you had to catch. So people like the challenge, but Pokemon's like, that's stupid. It's just like a ROM hack. No, it's not. No, it's not. And I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to go after these people who are creating these programs or what for Nuzlocke, because like I said, a lot of the time it's a Nuzlocke randomizer, which really adds that second layer to the game, because again, it randomizes everything. The story might still be the same, but again, you could start out with 3 Pokemon that aren't the starters. And depending which game it is, in the first game, you only have 151 Pokemon. But now in the later games where you have, quite a bit, it could be several generations worth. It could be fucking, I mean, one of them could be a Rayquaza, one of them could be a freaking, I don't know, all legendaries, Keldeo, and then one could be a freaking, Genesect or something. It's just random. Or a top, one of the Tapus, Tapu Fini or Coco. And so that's the amazing part of the randomizer side of it. But the Nuzlocke, even without the randomizer, already adds enough, difficulty, because you're like, okay, if I lose a Pokemon, now if it's like the original ones, I don't think it's too difficult, because I can go through the original and pretty much just solo that shit with one fucking Pokemon. So, but when it comes to the later ones where you're doing like double battles and stuff like that, Sam's sleeping. It gets a little more difficult, but just I don't see what Pokemon and Nintendo have such a problem with. Nintendo, it's like they enjoy shutting things down, like fan-made, even if the fan-made game is completely original. They're not using any assets from any of the games. It's all created from them. They'll shut it down. There was a Pokemon game called Pokemon Uranium. Shut that down. They just feel so threatened by fan games. It's like, well, we gotta shut down these fan games because they're gonna take away the money and the thunder from, our games. Well, they don't cost any money. They're not being charged. Like Uranium was a completely free to play game. The Pokemon were original. Most of the time, all the shit is made in what is it, like RPG Maker or a Game Maker or whatever it's called. So it just pisses me off. I mean, and apparently like Xbox, PlayStation, look at all the mods that come out for, say, Kingdom Hearts. There's just constant mods coming out for Kingdom Hearts because they don't care. But there's so many, and it really depends. It's like Mario fan games seem to be a no-no. Like every time, and if people would just shut the fuck up and not start promoting it all over the place and let it just kind of be a, hush hush, kind of thing, then they wouldn't get shut down. But once Nintendo gets wind of it, yeah, it's done. It's fucking done. You'll have, I think like I said, Pokemon Uranium got shut down, but there was a lot of articles like, fans enjoying a brand new Pokemon experience, Pokemon Uranium. And then fucking Pokemon Company got this, wind of that. Nintendo, they're like, nope, shut that down. No, we're not having that. It's like, Shut the fuck up about it. Stop promoting it like that. We'll see it on YouTube and stuff like that, but don't write articles because then you're just telling Nintendo to shut it down. Simple as that. What was this? Maybe too fast first. Let's see what the actual article says. Apparently not a fan of Nuzlocke. Something looked upon very negatively. I mean, unfortunately the proposal was immediately shut down. See, Nintendo and Pokemon, that's the problem. You see that people are requesting something like that to where it's like, yeah, once you lose a Pokemon, you know, right now it's like once you lose a Pokemon, you got to put it into the PC. But you know, if they made it, once you lose a Pokemon, it's just removed completely from your party. You don't have to worry about putting it into your PC. It's gone. Once it faints, it's gone. And I feel like they've been wanting Nintendo to make a randomizer for Zelda. You know, instead of having fans do it, Nintendo, why don't you make a randomizer for fucking Zelda? You know, people obviously love the Ocarina of Time randomizer. There's a randomizer for fucking Link to the Past, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, Skyward Sword, Ocarina of Time. There's a randomizer, I think, for Banjo-Kazooie, randomizer for Mario 64. People like randomizers. Again, a randomizer for Pokemon. Why not make randomizers yourself? Clearly, they're a thing. Clearly, people enjoy it. Why not get people to buy your product which is including something that they have an option to try? It seems like you're just trying to say, hey, we don't like money here. But Nuzlocke challenges have been around with Pokemon series for a significantly long time. There are self-imposed rules. Players put themselves to increase the difficulty of games. There's no hacking. Exactly. It's kind of like when you play World of Warcraft and there's like the Iron Man challenge and stuff like that, where you can only use certain gear or certain weapons. Like it can't be, you know, green or higher. You have to stick with the shitty gear. Stuff like that. You're not hacking the game. You're just using what you have in game and setting certain rules. In fact, actually, let me look up, because I think there's a Nuzlocke page and everything that has like all the rules that you can possibly have. So it's more clear. All right, so here are the rules. Main rules. The player is only allowed to catch the first Pokemon they encounter in the area. If the Pokemon faints or escapes, they can no longer catch a Pokemon in that area. If there are scripted battles or shiny Pokemon encounters, then you can catch those Pokemon as well, even if you already caught a Pokemon in that area. If there's a double battle, then the player can only catch one of those Pokemon. Any Pokemon that the player owns that will faint will be considered actually dead. The player must release the Pokemon or just keep it in storage without using for the duration of the game. Main rules not necessary. These next sets of rules can count as main rules. The player can choose to add a few of them. The first one is that the player must give their Pokemon a nickname. And T-Tar, he does the same thing. He nicknames every single one because he does that as part of those rules. If the player gets a whiteout or blackout, which is basically all the player's Pokemon in its lineup faints, then that is considered a game over. Now, I think that might change if you have Pokemon in the PC still. Now, if you're starting the game and they all faint and you don't have any usable Pokemon, yeah, you're kind of fucked. But the player can only use Pokemon that they capture themselves. They cannot use Pokemon that have been traded to them by another player. However, Pokemon that are obtained through in-game NPCs by trading or just getting them can be allowed. Yeah, so the players should also avoid resetting the game in case they had a bad run-in because it nullifies the purpose of a Nuzlocke. Optional rules. The rules can be optional and player Um, Players can add them for an increased spike in difficulty when it comes to the challenge. The rules may start once the game reaches a certain point, particularly when the player's journey actually begins and when they are done with the tutorials. Um, the player's ID can also force a rule into which starter Pokemon that the player must choose numbers from 1 to 3 means they need to choose the grass type starter. 1 to 3 means the grass type. 4 to 6 for fire type. 7 to 9 water type. 0 means the player gets to choose. Okay. Players can catch more than one Pokemon in the area. They can only catch one of each type, but the rule, if the Pokemon faints or flees, can still apply. The player cannot catch the type of Pokemon, that type of Pokemon in the area again, but the other area is still available. Another one where the player can be limited in buying items from the Pokemon. It could be a number of Pokeballs or healing items the player can use. Banning certain items to use in the game, like the Master Ball, obviously, that takes away the fun from you trying to catch them. Players can only start catching Pokemon after the gym battle in the area. Only using the same number of Pokemon the gym leader uses. If the gym leader uses only 3, then you can only use only 3 Pokemon on your own. Players can also set a number of times that they can use a Pokemon Center in each area. Huh. Banning the use of Pokemon Centers is something that you may want to do. The use of breeding in the daycare centers is not allowed. You are not allowed to flee random battles. So these are all things that are in the game. You're not hacking the game. These are just rules you're setting for yourself. And yet, Nintendo or Pokemon are like, oh, it's the same as hacking the game. It's the same as a ROM hack. No, it's not. If I have my game and I boot it up and I'm saying, I'm going to do it this way, that's not hacking the game. Seriously, Nintendo, you need to get with the times. Pokemon, you're part of Nintendo. You need to get with the times. Seriously. Like, a fan game comes out, you're like, no. A mod comes out, no. Fan games come out that use absolutely none of your assets, no. Can't do it. Can't fucking do it. And yet you have Microsoft and Sony, they're like, go ahead. We don't care. You have, MMORPGs that have private servers, which are still no-nos, but at this point, it's like, whatever. Seriously, get with the fucking times. A Nuzlocke is nothing except setting rules for yourself. This is why people are looking at Nintendo and looking at them like they're still stuck in the fucking 80s. It's like, why don't you guys catch up with everyone else? But, yeah. I mean, if you guys want to see me do a Nuzlocke, I can try. Like I said, I'm not the best Pokemon player. The original ones, yeah. Like I said, I can go through and fucking solo with, like, one fucking Pokemon. But, maybe 2. But Nintendo, come on. Come on. Anyways, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.